Hey, buddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and welcome back to Tower Dominion. Today we're going to be trying out the third faction, the Paragon Assault Group. So we've done a video as the Iron Dragoons, we've done a video as the Lions of Ravelski, and twice now I feel like we've gotten very close to beating difficulty 4. So let's take a look at these Paragon Assault Group heroes. We've got Captain Sikuldi. He gives you extra tech. He starts with an ammo depot. That could be quite useful. Would allow us to boost up the power of certain buildings, as well as giving us mines. We could provide a very strong defensive location here. Siege Master Obavim, +1 range on buildings, is surprisingly good, and the first line, getting 5 sturdy bunkers off the bat, also seems quite powerful because we'll have pretty good anti-air with that. Alternatively, getting free blueprints every 3 waves. Every other wave, actually, we get 1 of 3 blueprints every other wave, and we get tier 2 and tier 3 blueprints, so this is all about high-tier buildings. Lieutenant Delvin gets buildings with a height 3 gain plus 25% damage, and he starts with a werewolf. Or we get the Techno Adept York here, who starts with 1 plasma fence and with the experimental pulse cannon. I am quite intrigued by the experimental pulse cannon. You know what, let's play around with that. So taking a look at our starting location, I really don't love this starting location. However, reducing the number of battlegrounds early isn't terrible. So now we're only down to 3 battlegrounds, but some of the enemies that come in through here will actually loop around this path. So it's not the end of the world. They don't just take the fastest path to the center. Now, this experimental juggernaut super cannon here, we actually want it on a pretty open field, because every turn that passes with this thing, it will create a small little attachable doodad beside it. So we probably want to get some platforms relatively early to protect it. Now, there is a +3 range location. That's going to be super great up here. That's going to cover this. There's another +3, and we're going to put the sturdy bunker right here. So this should cover most of the things that we should be worried about. This Mirador covers 3 lanes, so I'm going to go ahead and get the special reinforcement in here, and then the logistic reinforcement. So that's going to be triple DPS. They're going to have 3 infantry shooting away here, plus they're going to reload a lot faster, and they have detection, so we're even set up to defend against stealth in the long run. Let's go ahead and send the wave and see how things shake out for us. I'm pretty hopeful that we will get through this first wave without a leak. Okay, we actually got tapped, but I think we're in an okay spot. Mirador efficiency is quite useful. Also gaining extra platforms on the reveal. Bastions are awesome. I do think the Mirador efficiency will help us a lot in the early game to defend. I'm going to add a special reinforcement to this tower. It's relatively high, so it'll have good DPS. I would like to get the logistic reinforcement and maybe even the veteran eventually. I do like to lean on Miradors early, even if they aren't amazing. Our base is going to have a bit of trouble. We should maybe go for the +100% supply production. +25% HQ HP is pretty good. Puma positions are also amazing. I really like Bastions, so I'm going to take those. We actually already have a couple of great spots for Bastions. And, oh boy, we have a bit of a difficult choice here. I'm going to re-roll this. I don't love that choice. Let's re-roll it again and again. Okay, we got a bit of a bad reroll here. That's okay. I'm going to place it right there. And actually, this is a premium location for this turret. Here might actually be even better, but I think right here is great. It has great coverage around the main base. Every turn, this is going to give us a charge system. We can give +20% damage to adjacent buildings, or we can get the autonomous excavators. I'm going to go for the autonomous excavators. Buildings adjacent to at least 1 charge system gain 10% rate of fire. We could gain attack. I'm going to go for the collective experiment. That means anything that's sort of adjacent to this could get boosted, and it's not bad land. Then we could go for focused energy for 600% more damage, but slower reload. Now this does have a 10-shot magazine, or +3 targets per impact, which would give it AoE. I kind of maybe prefer the AoE. We'll kind of have a think about that, whether or not we need single target or AoE damage by the end. Yeah, it fires really slowly because it's the experimental pulse emitter. However, it will go faster. So cheaper bunkers, clustered buildings. Clustered buildings isn't bad. I'm going to go for the Mirador and the supply. Here's the charge system. Now these can only be built at height 0, and each one will give +5 rate of fire to the experimental pulse emitter. So now it's going to be up to 0.6. It'll fire a little bit faster. Plus the collective experiment will give it an extra 10%, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm going to spend my money on upgrading my Miradors, because they're the majority of my DPS right now, 440, 775 plus 38. So yeah, the Miradors are a big part of my DPS because they're on height 3, so they're quite important for DPS. And slowly this experimental cannon will shoot faster and faster, but it'll take a little bit of time. The cheaper Miradors here is great. I already have a couple of Bastions. I'm going to go for the cheaper Miradors, plus it gave me a Puma. Pumas are awesome. Let's re-roll. Maybe I can get a better zone. Okay, we did not get a better zone. Let's push this further out. We have the money to get the veteran reinforcement here. We can place another charge system right there. Now this is up to 35% attack speed, slowly picking up speed. We are quite vulnerable on this front to the south. Jesus. Let me get repair drones and all buildings extra air damage so we can deal with air a little bit better. Mirador efficiency, that's another great pickup right there. Let's place another charge system. Now remember, they can only be placed on level 0. We've got a height 3 location. I think I'm going to save up for a Bastion, because I think getting a Bastion right here, it's going to clear like a lot of stuff in the area. So I'll save up for the Bastion. I want a Bastion right there. Yeah, nothing got through this time. Oh, okay, a little bit got through that time. It's not so bad. Extra Mirador rate of fire. Early discovery isn't bad, plus neutral buildings. The advanced Mirador is quite good. I think Mirador efficiency 3, so now they're cranking out damage. This is what I was looking for, so I could merge these paths, hopefully in like even more loops. We'll see. We're going to be dealing with dividers and tunnelers. So the tunneler is going to be a problem. We're going to have to think about that. We want that tunnel to be pretty far away. We might have to build this out. Let's add another pulse generator charge system. I'm going to put a Bastion right here. You can see the coverage of the Bastion is fantastic. Plus, we can go for the simple design for the extra reload speed. The high ground expertise I don't think is worth it. The reload speed is awesome. I wish it wasn't at this height. Well, I could in theory place 2 platforms to try to maximize the DPS from the Bastion, which I don't hate. So we'll do that. We'll just save up for the Bastion. We're taking some damage. Oof. The cheaper Miradors are really interesting to me. 5 discovery and an advanced Mirador is also really interesting. Let's add another pulse tower. Another charge generator. So this thing is firing 25% faster. It's up to 45%. Awesome. We're going to get the Bastion here. So now it has even better range. And then we're going to go for high ground expertise on it. Let's go ahead and send the wave. I want to save up for this. I want to upgrade it as much as I can. Yeah, Bastion is a great, even at tier 1, like just plonking this down, the fact that it has 4 heavy Vencedors like flanking firing each other. Vicious crossfire is fantastic actually, plus 5% rate of fire for every building that's adjacent to another building. Like that's a great pickup. I want another reroll. Okay, I was hoping for something different than that, but I'm going to take this for the tunnel wave that's next, I believe. I want high ground expertise. Now, do I want the roof-based pulse cannon or do I want the roof snipers? The snipers are nice because they give us detection. We don't have to deal with anything hidden yet, but the snipers actually do pretty decent DPS. Alternatively, if we go for the roof-based pulse cannon, we would be able to shred anything with shields. And these tunnelers do actually come with shields. So I usually go high ground expertise, roof snipers, and shooting floor, but maybe I should go this right side and try out the pulse cannon. I might try out the pulse cannon. Let's see. Now, I'm also curious, right? If we look at this thing, it's got a 50% rate of fire boost. If I attach a charge cannon here, it's now got a 60% rate of fire boost. That's interesting. So you just have to create, I think, a network of these charge systems. Very interesting. I think they just have to be touching. So this will slowly get faster and faster every round. It's almost shooting once a second, which is amazing. I think a werewolf position here would be really nice, but I want to save up to boost the Bastion. I also want to make sure that I'm not leaking on these other sides because I have been heavily focusing money down here. I mean, this is where the leaks seem to be potentially coming from. Yeah, we're getting leaks from, still getting leaks from down here. So I'm going to go for the roof-based pulse cannon, although the roof snipers look awesome. Oh, Mirador expertise plus 10 recon production. That's awesome. That's going to allow us to reroll more aggressively. It's going to allow us to use abilities more aggressively. So this is the tunnel. You can kind of see the tunnel there. I'm going to make sure the tunnel is as far away as possible. Adjacent buildings gain plus 2 range and 10% damage. That could be really strong. I'm going to save up for this roof-based pulse cannon. Nothing we want to spend things on. We do have a charge system. And again, this tower is 60%. I add this and now it is 70%. So Slowly boosting up the fire rate of this bad boy. I may be misunderstanding how these charge systems work, but that's not my fault. That's the game's fault. If it's poorly explained, you can't blame me for misunderstanding it. Oh, we're just about leaking here. We're holding pretty well. I'm saving up for the pulse. I would love Bastion expertise if we could get it. Right now we're heavily focused on Miradors. I do love barricades, so I'm going to take that Mirador cost. We're leaning heavily into those right now. I'm going to push this out a little bit. I want to close this loop over the next few rounds. We'll get to work on that. Let's get the roof-based pulse cannon. So this thing does like, holy balls. It does 435 base damage? Damn. Okay, that's strong. There's a height 3 Mirador position here. I'll put the advanced Mirador on it, and then we'll fire off. We've got Mirador costs 2. Would like Mirador cost 3 if we could get it, because damn, we're really chooching. This cannon is crazy. Does it have splash? No, it doesn't have splash. It's just big damage. We still took a hit on our base, but that's okay. Cheaper bunkers, 400 supply. Cheaper bastions is really strong, actually. I'm going to grab cheaper bastions. That's good. We've got another charge system. This thing is up to 90% rate of fire, so it's attacking once per second. It's starting to get its DPS up. Look at this bastion. How are you doing? 1600 damage, 1000 damage. Let's up these Miradors, because they're relatively cheap. We have triple expertise on them, so they're 30% more efficient for every investment, plus they're 30% or 20% cheaper for every investment. So we get a lot of bang for our buck for these Miradors. Yes, the Defender, it's not a huge amount of damage across the map, but I think it adds up. 1800 damage on the advanced Mirador isn't bad, honestly. Oh, yes, cost 3 on Miradors. That's amazing. Yes, okay, we want to close this loop if we can. So we just need one more turn and we can close this loop. And then we can start thinking about closing this loop and this loop to make all the enemies come from a single direction. We can even consider selling this if it comes to that. Let's get the veteran reinforcement. So it's 50% rate of fire and +1 extra weapon. So now they've got 4 defenders up here, firing faster, reloading faster, doing more damage. Place another one of these defensive systems. We're up to 100% rate of fire. What do? You are a slower, you're a processor. I think getting down my Miradors is quite good here because they are cheap and cost effective, so I think that adds up. And honestly, the Miradors are not bad with dealing with swarms once you have 4 of them, because they will split their fire amongst really weak enemies and sort of take them down slowly. That 2000 damage versus 3000 damage here, and he did 500. Buildings adjacent to neutral buildings will get a boost. Oh, first line, all buildings will gain +1 damage per Mirador and sturdy bunker. That's really good. We have at least 4 Miradors, so that's 4% DPS. That gives us Mirador scaling. Also gives us sturdy bunker scaling. Now, my expectation is here that this would give me +5% attack speed. However, how I think it actually works is that these charge systems scale based on the number of charge systems adjacent to them. So if I build it here, I get 5% for this being adjacent to this and this being adjacent to this, so I actually get 10%. So in theory, if I place this here, I should actually get 15% boost. So it should go from 100%, it should go to 115 if I'm understanding the system correctly. It went to 120. I am not understanding the system correctly. Maybe, no, I am. It would have been 1, 2, and then 1, 2. Yes, so you count each adjacency twice. I see, okay. So it doesn't matter that they're adjacent to the experimental pulse emitter. It matters that they're adjacent to each other. Okay, well that was a useful thing to learn. Very useful. At least this area looks cool, right? Even though it's a bit of a fail. This Mirador should shred. Got a lot of enemies coming down here from the south. I'm going to upgrade this Mirador as well. Crank out a little bit of damage. 2,700 isn't bad, honestly. We could get another Bastion. Ooh, 3 barricades is super good. Barricades basically block the path. Okay, I'm going to start re-rolling zones. I'm looking for a corner. Yes, so I can close this off. All HQ entrances must lead to a zone. Got it. So I actually have to loop this around if I want to close it off. Well, at the very least, I can combine these together and make it highly unlikely that anything comes from this direction. And I can put a barricade here and here if I wanted to. Let's put another charge system down. That's actually going to boost this with another 10% rate of fire. Okay, well, we learned that this actually has to connect to something. So we can't do what we thought we could. But if we add a bunch of entrances out of here, I think it'll work just fine. More sturdy bunkers, believe it or not, is actually the play here. Ideally in these key locations, like right there, has good spread. I wouldn't mind getting the plasma fence if we could. Let's quite expensive. I think since most enemies are going to come from the southwest direction, it might be good for me to put a barricade here. It also might be good. Ooh, 250 supply production, but buildings do slightly less damage. That's huge. Plus I'll gain a blueprint. The Mirador, I have really good scaling on Miradors. Let's grab a charge system right there. You're up to 140% attack speed. That's awesome. So my thought here is if I put a barricade right here and then I give it the plasteel frame plus reusable parts, shield enemies are guaranteed to come out of this, which means they will always kill themselves upon this. They'll always damage themselves on this, and therefore basically give me 10 extra supply, which isn't a huge amount, but it does add up over time. In addition, I could put a regimental icon on this for 1 tech point, which would give my entire base a guaranteed plus 5% DPS boost, or I could give a 15% to the nearby. I'm going to go for the 5% DPS boost, like across my entire network. I'm going to put another Mirador over here by this processor site because it seems quite strong. A lot of enemies come from this area, and it allows me to get that Mirador scaling, the +1 damage from Miradors. I got 1% damage for every Mirador or light bunker that I place. So I think that adds up over the course of my whole, network of stuff. All right, we're shredding. Good. Veteran reinforcement, awesome. We're going to get 450 supply next turn. Okay, wave 16 exterminated. Sturdy joint operations launches assault talents to deliver assault teams to the heat of battle. That is really cool. Plus we get a barricade. I'm excited to try out the joint operations. If I add another 4-way splitter over here, that would be quite good. We've got a supply point here that provides supply production. I could put a barricade beside it. I don't know if that actually activates it. First, I'll put a charge system here for another 20% attack speed on this bad boy. Then I'm going to... Pumas are really bad not on high ground. They kind of need high ground for them to be any good. So I'm kind of not on board with putting Pumas anywhere but like high value high grounds, like over right here. This is a great high value high ground. It would cover a lot of entrances. I wish I had a cheaper building. I do have platforms that I can use to buff up my doodads. The mortar just doesn't cut it. I'm gonna let this sit for a while, so I need you to go somewhere. Here we go. All buildings get air damage. You get extra 1% DPS. You launch as Talon teams, elite paragons. You've got veteran squads. Assault teams gain 50% damage and +1 range, or extra recon production. Very cool. We will be upgrading this as time comes along. We have plenty of recon to sink into it. It deployed troops here. That's an interesting decision. And it slowly just deploys them around. I thought it was going to deploy them like anywhere on the map. Okay, that is useful to know. I could get another Mirador. The Mirador, I think my Mirador scaling is actually kind of crazy right now. This can definitely activate this, although I'm going to place you here, and this is going to be one of the ones where I go for the underground depot because it's on height 0 and not adjacent to anything that boosts it. I lose out on detection, but that's honestly not a big deal. It still gives 50% damage and rate of fire, so it ends up being probably comparable DPS to some of these ones. I don't think it's as good, but it's still comparable, I think. All right, let's keep sending the waves. Oh, so since this one is kind of deploying squads in a not very useful position, I'm just going to grab aerial reconnaissance from it to gain the +5 recon production. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not completely useless where it's deploying people, but it's just not the most useful. More tier 2 blueprints could be really good. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Yeah, I would like to turn this a little bit this way. We can put you right there. I could go for ammo storage. You honestly haven't been doing as much since these positions were put up. Like, they're holding. And my Miradors are like really carrying me right now. So I don't think we need to spend anything. I think we could just send this wave because basically nothing has been coming from this entrance over here. We do have mucoses coming that divide into... Okay, so these guys divide into these guys. These guys drop from high orbit and they have high shields. So this is where this bastion is going to start to shine, and potentially further bastions if we get more. As you can see, most of the enemies are coming from down here, which is what we want. We want them walking along our path, giving lots of time for this guy to deploy backup troops. Sturdy bunker efficiency level 3. That could lead to bunker mastery, so let's grab it. Sanatrope and Mucos are now on the field. They're coming out of a tunnel, so this is another one of those tunnel moments, so I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to put a barricade there. I'm going to upgrade it with the reusable parts and the regimental thing. I'm also going to put another barricade here with the plasteel frame, reusable parts, and the regimental icon. So there's a 15% DPS boost coming along just this lane. We don't have anywhere we can place this. We do have an okay spot here. Ideally, we want like a 3x3 on the flat. A 2x2 on the flat is pretty good. don't get me wrong. I'll take the 2x2 on the flat. Don't think I necessarily really need to build much more. Okay, yeah, so a lot of fighting's happening down here. A little bit of fighting's happening here. These guys spawning is scary. I do need to take care of whatever's going on here. I think I need more DPS down and around here, especially for these big boys. I need to make this path here longer. That is something I'll work towards with my next couple of point drops. I think we are going to need more DPS in this area. Miradors are great. Bastion efficiency is fantastic. Since, again, I have insane Mirador scaling, I'm going to move this entrance further out. So that's 2 entrances that have been pushed out a little bit further. Let's keep you scaling. I do have enough platforms to get another Mirador up high. I remember my Mirador scaling is amazing. I am going to get ammo storage on this bad boy for the 50% damage and reload speed. That's going to mean that we have a lot more uptime on our weaponry. So yeah, they basically reload more or less instantly compared to how they were reloading before. I think a Durandal position near the home base could also be quite good. It would cover this whole area. So let's do a platform right there. I will get the Durandal position. I'm going to put a Warwolf position here defending the main base. I'll give it easy access so that it reloads faster. Easy access is actually doubled on it if it's on height 0. So this will be a 60% rate of fire and reload speed boost. So it will be able to pump out damage compared to before. Okay, this wave, we got a little bit better RNG on enemy spawns. It's going okay for us. It went really well for us, actually. Bastion efficiency is really good. We do have sturdy bunker efficiency. That's something we do need to be thinking about. Bastion efficiency is super sick because this is a very strong building. Let's keep building these. Now, the Durandal, it has plenty of range. I'm going to give it exposed elements. That will lower my HQ HP, but that's fine. I'm also going to give it heavy payload, so it has extra damage and more max targets on its explosion, as well as bigger explosion size. I would like to place one here too. So I'm going to build up some platforms and then put a Durandal here. It has pretty damn good coverage. We'll also activate the slowing beacon. So troops are actually getting dropped over here. Not bad. This barricade just fell. I think having this really long path is actually kind of giving us plenty of time to deal with our foes. These guys just keep dropping troops. It's really sick. The medium mortar position is exciting. I also really ooh, overclocked cogitators. It's 100 supply every wave plus a bastion. I love it. We have a fantastic bastion position right here. Oh yes, and we can close 2 of the entrances, pushing more of our enemies further deeper. Plus 10 discovery on this is actually kind of sick. If I could get an extra platform, this mortar could actually reach almost all the way out there. What if I did a Puma here instead? Oh, it doesn't have very good. I'm gonna put a crappy mortar right there and probably just never upgrade it. Let's make sure we complete this. That's another boost. What are you up to? You're up to 1.6 shots per second. That's pretty good. And there's going to be another bastion going right here. Now, I expect invisible enemies to be coming soon. So I'm tempted to go for a simpler design. Although actually, I might wait a wave to see if I can get a platform to build this on. It's also a really good position for it right here as well. Like if we could get 3 bastions along here, this becomes like Death Valley. Oh, we got a little bit of enemy coming this way, but we have just enough defenses over here. The vast majority is coming from down here. And you can see occasionally this guy is shooting a mortar into the fray, which means it's not completely worthless, and it also provides with that plus 10 discovery from the local underground. Oh, you can rotate the screen. I never knew that. Mirador, again, I have amazing Mirador scaling. So I think that's kind of the danger of like leaning so heavily into a building early game, is you end up with like amazing scaling on it, and that kind of makes you locked in. Like, these guys are doing so much damage, 5k, 5.4k, 5.1k compared to like the 1.4k, 13,000 on the Bastion. Like that's disgustingly good. We got 1100 on the experimentals. Not much on these Miradors in the back ranks. Little bit on the joint ops. I kind of placed it poorly, but it will actually help defend. Now I could put an electric fence here, and I feel like this spot right here feels like the right spot for an electric fence. So let's see. So it has 5,700 health. It shuts down for a few seconds when its HP is depleted. When the energy field is overloaded, adjacent buildings gain 15% damage until the end of the wave. So we could get 2 buildings with 15% damage. And if we put a bastion right there, now we're talking like pretty heavy consequences for our enemies. Optimized coils would give 25% HP per battlefront. I think we care more about the 15% damage, so I'm going to take that. 10% troop HP, don't care about that. Perfect coils, 100% HP. But yeah, the derived connections means once it actually gets broken, buildings nearby will be quite strong. I'm going to put a Mirador here because that's a 1% damage increase across every single building that I have. Remember, my Mirador scaling is insane. A medium mortar position right here honestly has amazing coverage for my main lane, so it's quite tempting. Also, the walls are doing work, bro, like crazy good work. Now, I don't know if anything got through to the HQ there. Let's see, supply. Sturdy bunker is also a 1% DPS increase, so we'll grab that. Okay, this is a flat tile. I don't actually want a flat tile. This is kind of cool too, to make this even longer and increase the number of enemies that come down this lane. Plonk you right there, getting adjacency. What are we next on? I think we're going to go for a bastion right here with simple design, roof snipers, and a shooting floor. So I don't expect it to do quite as well as the other ones, but it's got sniper rifles with decent range. It's got protectors with close range. It's got vencedors. So I expect it to do pretty good damage. Sorry, I had to blow away a mosquito there. He was hungering. How are we looking here? Assault teams. Might be good to upgrade this. Yeah, they're getting through. They're also getting through here. It's a problem. Holy crap, we almost died. We need some extra base health. 100 HP every time you place a building. That'll be helpful. So you did 15,000 damage this round. You did 12,000 damage. Honestly, not bad, actually. I'm going to get a medium mortar position right here. Let's see. So this thing can get data collection, which is 10% damage and rate of fire per adjacent building. We can go for +2 max range and 50% damage, or -2 minimum range. I'm going to go for the extra damage. I don't need the data sharing. So I think it would actually be quite good if I spammed out a few of these things adjacent to this. I could trigger this bonus quite a lot. Extra 10% damage and DPS is huge. And then we can go for the Delta Wear upgrade, which is +4 targets. Now it already hits 8, so that's a 50% target damage boost. It's +50% damage, extra reload speed, and a bigger explosion size. So that just all tracks really well. I'm going to put a barricade right here and right here. I'm going to get the underground network to give the HQ more health, so just help get that HQ health up just a little bit so we can tank some enemies getting through. I'll put a mortar team here because it'll trigger the extra 10% damage and rate of fire. Yeah, damage and rate of fire. Reload speed is going to be a problem for this building, and its magazine is only 1, so every time it fires it has to reload, which is difficult, but I think it'll do a good job. I'm going to put a Puma position here. I'm going to give it general purpose, hydraulic recoil, and the quad barrage LMG, just to add a little bit of noise over here. It's kind of RNG based as to whether or not you're going to have a bad round. I'm going to give you long barrel, heavy payload. Do I want the Clayton? I'm going to maybe save up for the Blessed Machine. 20% extra supply consumption is nice. The medium mortar position would also be kind of sick, as it also gives me a barricade. I do have a lot of recon. I could use a scout hideout, and if it was positioned well, it would do a lot of damage. Let's go for the scout hideout. Okay, new threat spotted. We've got implacable, immune to slow, so we actually don't need stealth detection. We're going to need a little bit more air damage. I think I want a straight lane. There we go, like this, so I can connect these up eventually. What do we got? Supply production, and it's actually in an interesting position because I could put a scout hideout right there, go for a large squad, plus the sea mine launcher and the compact charges, which allows me to spend a lot of recon to get a slow in the area. Now here's an important question. Do the charge systems trigger the damage and rate of fire? So currently it has 110%, now it has 120%. The charge system is great for boosting medium mortar positions. We do want our sturdy bunkers down, and maybe we want to do like a sturdy bunker network along here just to get as much damage, because if we go for that short range comlink, 50% damage and rate of fire is a huge DPS increase, especially if we decide to go for the Reaper cannon. So let's go for those short range comlinks. These are going to be like networked bunkers that are just blapping and the brapping. In terms of AA, I think I would like a Puma right here with... No, I changed my mind. I don't want the Puma there. I want a bunker right there. This is not a terrible spot for a mortar. It'll do a little bit of damage. I'm trying to think, is there better spots for it? I'm gonna just send the wave. I think it's kind of down to RNG as to whether or not we do well on our waves right now, based on where people are coming from. I would like the Blessed Machine. Slower reload speed. I mean, here's the thing. How often does this thing reload? I think I'm gonna go for explosive energy. I need the AoE damage. So +3 targets per impact is pretty damn good. I think that'll help us deal with some of the swarms we've been having coming through. You got pretty lucky with that wave. Not too much in the way of resistance. Super heavy pulse defense. I don't need the supply at this late stage, but I will take another sturdy bunker because I actually have a position for it right there. Put another one of those beside this. 10,000 damage on that, 9,000 on this, 10,000 on you, 4,000 on you, 2,000 on you, 7,000 on the Durandal, 1,500. We're just looking through and kind of seeing how is the damage shaking up. Like this thing doing 10,000 damage means I feel happy that I leaned into it so heavily. I mean, even my barricades did 2,000 damage like each, which is their HP amounts. Super heavy pulse defense. We could probably fit this right here if we put a platform. Now this will be a one hider. Ooh, so if we could get an ammo depot, that would be quite good. Guided charge, range. So we've got 50% rate of fire, 70% if it's adjacent to an ammo depot. We could get guided charge for massive range. Hits up to 3 targets behind the initial target. It already has max targets too. Adjacent buildings deal extra damage to shield. I don't know if we necessarily need that. +1 target per impact. That's a tech upgrade or overloading shells. That's actually like focused energy here. I definitely would like solid frame. So getting an ammo depot would feel good. And shared energy is honestly probably not terrible, but we don't need to make those upgrade decisions just yet. We can send another wave. Yeah, see this guy, he's going to come through and he has a lot of enemies inside him. It's a bit of a problem for us. Yeah, you can see this is where we need that AoE damage right here. Tons of AoE damage required. Okay, let me get the short range comm link on you. We've got the Omega Emitter, Durandal efficiency, tight ranks would give me extra, like, benefit me from building buildings together. I think I just need more stuff on the field. Okay, here's a 3-way. Perfect. We can start pushing more enemies further out. It's beautiful. That is exactly what we were looking to do. Let's keep putting adjacent to this bad boy. It is slowly scaling up. Who was my MVP last round? Nobody kind of did an outstanding amount of damage. Everyone kind of did a little. So this thing shoots in a continuous straight line down the lane. So if I could have put it here, it would have been amazing. Alternatively, if I can get a position to put it up over here, I'm going to hold on to that for now. Let's do some Pumas. It's a good spot for a Puma right there. Oh, if that was higher, it would be great. What do you do again? Supply production. It's a nice Puma spot. We'll go general purpose, hydraulic recoil, quad barrel. It does quite a bit more damage. General purpose, hydraulic recoil, quad barrel. That's my money mostly spent, and we'll send the wave. See what happens. I don't expect a lot of damage out of the Puma positions, but they should have... they will do some damage. I don't expect them to carry me, but they will hopefully help a lot. Okay, this is when it starts getting hairy. When these mortar positions... Like, we need this Warwolf to pick up. So let's go for Shrapnel and Warden Protocol. We need this thing firing faster and earlier and doing more. Beautiful. Sturdy bunkers are great. Again, this is a 1% DPS boost across my entire network of towers and stuff. We need to build a location. We'll put it right there. Man, if I could get one more thing that just pointed. I have the recon to do it, and I'll be able to get this Omega Emitter just pointing down this whole lane, which would be amazing. Let's keep you... going up. I'm going to put you right there. Reaper autocannon is 270 damage. It shoots pretty quick. 100% damage per height level really suits this sturdy bunker because it's on height 3. But these other ones, I'm going to go for more Vencedors because that should, in theory, double the number of targets they're hitting. Or at the very least, double the DPS against the targets they're hitting. All right, so we got a few flying enemies over here. That's not a problem. Most of the enemies are going to be coming down this lane. Even this Puma is like doing okay. What do we got? We got a lot of shields, and we got some big shield boys. So it might be good to get some anti-shield stuff going on around this guy with the shared energy cells. We're going to need to be thinking about that. We have plenty of money production. What we need right now are blueprints. We need to get, like, stuff down. Oh, this Mirador is not upgraded. Let me just give you a huge DPS increase. Yeah, look at that. We don't have a huge amount of single target on these guys. Like, we can take them down, but it's a thing. And if he came from one of the other directions, he would hit and do God knows how much damage. This is really bad. These are not the types of things that we want to get. I'm thinking if we take this, it takes at least this out of the pool and also makes the super heavy pulse cannon more efficient, and it already does a decent amount for us. What we really, really need is we need to re-roll a zone with a tile in the middle, like this. And then we need to put the Omega Emitter right here, pointing down that way, ideally with platforms. So I'm going to see if I can get away with one more wave before we do that. I could have probably re-rolled a lot more, but I wanted to guarantee that the Omega Emitter would go there. And then right now, I'm going to see if I can get through this wave without issue, and then see if we can get... Oh, that's a lot of stuff! That's a lot of stuff! Okay, we just barely stopped them. And I want to see if I can get a couple of platforms on this to raise it up. Man, okay. So when we pop those bad guys, they run. Yeah, we're blasting them. I just need blueprints, man. I just need blueprints. I do have stuff I can invest in, honestly. Like the Blessed Machine here would be disgustingly good. This is already an insane building. Yeah, take him out. Get him. 17,000 damage on this bad boy. A second Omega Emitter, really not what I need. The sturdy bunker and the Bastion are at least like very usable. All right, we're gonna put a you right there. That's gonna boost you even more. You're up to crazy fire speed and all that jazz. Let's put the Omega Emitter here. Oh, we got the 2 platforms. That is massive. Now I believe, actually, oh, you have infinite range. You didn't need those. But when these are cleared, you should be shooting down the whole lane, which will be juicy. So I can get 20% damage or optimize coils. Let's go for 20% damage. 100% damage, or the HQ suffers and the HQ suffers 1,000 damage every wave, or I can just get a 50% damage boost. I like the idea of the experimental wirings. Also, this thing shreds shields. That's something to keep in mind. Yeah, I'm going to go for that experimental wirings, and then I would like the dual lens if I could. But for now, the Omega Emitter is going to do work. Once this barricade breaks, I'm going to put a Bastion. That's not where I wanted to put that Bastion. Cancel that. I want a Bastion right here. So we've got 3 Bastions back to back, which is beautiful. Let's go ahead and send this wave. We actually don't need detection this game, which is quite surprising. Usually I go up against stealth, but you don't go up against the same enemies every time. All right, what are we looking at? Okay, there's a little bit kind of sneaking on through here, but they are getting stopped. There's a couple of these scary guys, but once you pop them, they're relatively easy to deal with. Why aren't you shooting? Oh, you are. Oh, look at the beam, dude. It's crazy good. It fires pretty slow, but it did just eviscerate. That thing did 30,000 damage this wave. Okay. Oof. Puma positions are really not what I need. I need damage. The barricade could give us a decent amount of damage, actually. It's like a guaranteed like 4,000 or 5,000 damage. What did our Pumas do last round? Let me see. What did you do? Oh, you actually did like 10k damage. You did like 8k. Okay. So a Puma in the right position isn't half bad, actually. It's like 10,000 damage. So 2 Pumas should be like 20,000 damage if they're placed well, in theory. We want to re-roll this for as many entrances as possible because we want as many people to walk past this bad boy. I don't think it matters to activate this local underground except unless we had like some other reason to activate it. We definitely need to get the Puma positions down in good spots. At least, oh, here we go, +3s. 2 Pumas covers most of the entrances. The beam, oh my god, the beam goes crazy, dude. That beam is insane. Let's go for general purpose, hydraulic coil. We want to get that quad barrel LMG. We got those tyrants coming through. The big boys are hard to stop, I will give them that. Once you break their, like, in theory, breaking their shields should do the job, but it really doesn't do enough. Big beams. The beams just shred, dude. Oh, I never upgraded this one. Let's go for high ground expertise. I feel like I didn't make that much money this round. I don't know if I'm crazy or not. This is going to be the first time that I beat this goddamn thing. Oh, 10% damage rate of fire on the Omega Efficiency Emitter. Yes. That thing already does 34,000 damage. That's crazy good. I'll just place this here. This will be super benefit. You fire fast. Go away, Mosquito, you son of a gun. Oh, I accidentally just started the wave. Let's put an extra wall here. I want the 75% HP, 125% HP. And the adjacent buildings gain rate of fire. I'll just put a mortar here. I'll give it range, support fire, and piercing round so it does big damage. My laser's about to fire. Just shred this backline. Here it goes. Oh my god, the damage on that thing is crazy. 25k this round. Barricade and scout hideout suits me quite well. We've got a major breach. So we are dealing with... The final waves contains more and stronger tier 1 foes. Give me a 4-way splitter that I can put up over here to maximize the total. Dude, get mosquitoes. You like breeding? Jesus Christ. Fucking hate mosquitoes, dude. Okay, I'm gonna put a 3rd barricade right there. Bastille frame, reinforced frame, networked relay. Let's put you right here. We'll go with large squad, sea mine launcher, compact charges. We spent basically all of our money. I'm going to go ahead and get wing-mounted barrage plus remove the storm rifle and adds 2 soldiers with glory-seeking missiles or a pulse rifle. Let's add the glory-seeking missiles. We do have some things that we could upgrade, but I ain't fussed about that. General purpose, let's go. Dude, this beam is crazy. How much wave clear it has. Now, the area of real concern here is if anything comes from here, we're going to have a bad day, dude. Like a real bad day. But it looks like we mostly got away with it. Oh, okay. They hit the walls. They hit the walls. Let's get these solid foundations going. Don't let the tyrant through. Come on. Don't let them through. The walls are just barely holding. Dude, I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to make it through. Bro. Bruh. I can't believe it. We are actually going to make it through. That is humongous. Sick. We crushed 35 waves. We just unlocked Frontier mode. I don't actually know what Frontier mode is. That's sick. Oh, okay. So win an expedition with a Techno Adept Jorg. We gain 1 Doctrine among 3 twice. Oh, wow. That's a tier 2 Doctrine. Okay, pretty cool. Acquire Efficiency 3 for this blueprint during a game. So this is Sturdy Bunker Expertise, +1 range on Sturdy Bunkers. We also re-rolled 50 times over expeditions. That gets us the Rampart Missile Silo. Holy! Produce 5,000 supply. We get the Claymore Defense, a multi-purpose defensive position with 2 additional positions that can be fitted with various weapons, making the Claymore Defense very versatile. Very cool. Gain 30 Doctrines in a single game. This got us the Iron Dragoon Army Command, who gets a lot of Doctrines. Very cool. Win 1 expedition at difficulty level 4. Got us Air Marshal Trevia, who starts with a smoke signal and an air command. An Infiltrator Lathissa. Each wave, Lathissa infiltrates the battlefield. Adjacent buildings gain detection and 25% damage, as well as recon production. We got that for re-rolling. That was sick. Now, some of these things we didn't activate, but some of them came very late into the game. One thing that I would actually suggest to the developers is that the later a game goes, I think there should be early game. Mosquito, I will end you. I think it would be cool. 600k on this, 300k on this, 290k on this. The Omega Emitter was built really late, and look at that, it was still one of my top, towards the top end of my towers, and there was only one of it. Whereas my Miradors really carried me. They just did so much cheap chip damage over time. Even my Sturdy Bunkers didn't even come close to even my Pumas, right? But the Sturdy Bunkers were still worth building. I definitely think Miradors are better than Sturdy Bunkers. Then again, I didn't really invest in them, and they were placed very early into the map. Look at that Mirador. The Mirador did half of the single advanced Mirador did half the damage of the Sturdy Bunker. It's crazy. The experimental pulse emitter really wasn't that good. I guess it was positioned pretty far back. It did okay in the early game. It killed a few enemies. I don't know if it was worth investing into, but definitely Mirador heavy play. Felt very rewarding this game. Super, super rewarding. Yeah. So one of the bits of feedback I would give to the developers is that the later the game goes, perhaps you should have late game versions of these. So the ancient processor site that gives 3 range and 15% damage, or the gravity or the collapsed gravitation well that does range of 5 slowed. I think it would be good to have. These just don't scale very interestingly, and so it would be cool if there was more. We are going to go to endless mode here. Cheaper Omega emitters aren't really what I'm looking for here. My Miradors have been doing amazing. Imperial Fervor, 2% damage for every entry point. That is a 34% DPS increase for me right now. Let's grab it. That's amazing scaling. And then let's keep placing these adjacent to stuff that we already have. We have a bunch of platforms. Oh man, we've got Vegas, we've got Mega Mucos, who divided to Mucos, who then divided to Mimimucos, and we got Krylos. Ugh, do not love this. Send our wave. We don't have much in the way of stuff we can do. Let's go for the roof-based pulse cannon and the ammo storage on you. I'm hoping that nothing too crazy happens out over here. Yeah, I think we're holding okay. The fact that we have so many entrances down here just means so many enemies walk down this lane. It's honestly divine. All right, these guys should die pretty quick. Awesome. Beautiful. Discovering neutral buildings give me 15% damage. Oh, man, these are really not good. The sanction cannon is okay. At least it's a building that I can place. I think what I need more than anything are 4 ways. I'll take a 3-way. Okay, there was a 4-way. HQ repairs extra every wave. Now, the sanction cannon is going to be an interesting nugget to try to place because it's a 4x4. However, if I put it, I could maybe get it up. I could get it up for your mom, no problem. But maybe I can get it up to a height of 2 right over here, and then place it aiming down the lane. And then if we could put a Mirador adjacent to this, that would be 20% damage and reload speed. It reloads really slowly, so it would have double reload speed. Then we could get 15% damage and rate of fire per adjacent building. Not a whole lot of adjacent buildings. I kind of regret placing this here, but I've already placed down the platforms, which sucks. But it is kind of a great position to help out in this main lane. I honestly think data collection, well, no, I think I'll go for piercing shells, sanctified shells, 8 range. I think we'll go for spotters, data collection, and sanctified shells, and then put a couple miradors beside it or something. Yeah, it's already firing, beautifully doing damage. Our laser is firing. Oh, the laser, you can see the laser traveling up as stuff just dies. Beautiful. All right, beautiful. Little dinosaurs making their way through. I think we've more or less got this one. How much damage did you do this round, good sir? 75k, not bad. Puma, 15k. 11k on this Puma, 7k on this Puma. It's not even a fully upgraded Puma. 17k, 40k. You did 25k. Oh, air command. That looks so cool. I want to play with the air command, dude. It looks awkward as hell to place. So we're going to deal with Krylo, Megamucus, and Vagus. They're coming this wave. So I think I could scooch the air command. Oh, I can't quite fit it. I could fit it over here. And the question is, I don't know if it has like a range, does it? Plus 15 discovery, 10 recon, supply. So what do you do actually? I can smoke signal to direct the bombers. Do I want discovery or recon? Discovery is kind of awesome. I don't know how to tell what my discovery is. That's kind of like, where's my discovery stat? You know what I mean? I would love like somewhere I could see like, what are my chances of discovering things? The recon production is cool. I kind of like the discovery. This is a lot of recon production for not a lot of this, but finding things is cool. 10% damage against air is awesome. Adjacent buildings gain rate of fire. No, second command. Oh, gain a smoke signal. So do I get these every turn? I don't know. I'm scared to use them. Are they like consumables? Do they disappear? I'm scared to use them. Oh, interesting. There's a maximum range away. Or maybe I'm misunderstanding how this works. I'm gonna face it that way. Okay, maybe I have to send the wave. Okay, if I put the smoke signal there, what happens? Oh, look how big those guys are. Okay, a bomber just came along. Did it actually drop bombs? I couldn't tell. Oh, damn, I think it did. Carpet's the hardest targets in the area. As long as it's a straight line, the bomber can fly. So it just like bombs across the entire map. Oh, you could see the bombs dropping. And then if I place this one the other way. Oh, so then I'll have 2 bombers bombing 2 directions. Just, you can see the explosive waves traveling. That is sick. I just have so much DPS going down these lanes. The thing did 20k damage. Can I upgrade? Give me a Reaper cannon and a solid foundation. Give me a shared defense. Holy crap, these guys are tough. We are getting them. Jesus. Dude, bombers are sick. Okay. Puma position cheaper. I think I would rather just have more buildings, even if they're crappy mortars and Pumas, which aren't amazing. Yes, a 4-way splitter. Give it to me. Boom. We need more bad guys to just walk down this lane and spread them out. Here's a 2x2. Let's start setting you up there. Eventually this thing will just shoot infinitely fast, in theory. All right, so you definitely need a hydraulic recoil plus a quad barrel. I don't have dual tech on you, so I would need to get tech points from somewhere. I could do this, raise up this Puma so it has decent range, and then give it... Do I need anti-air design? It might be okay to have anti-air design, actually. A little bit less damage, but it prioritizes air, so it'll do really good against that. Dude, mortars are impossible to place well, it feels like. Well, I guess I can get one here, and if I gave this one like a platform or 2, maybe 1 more, they'll at least hit enemies in this area. They still suck. I don't like them. I suppose learning machines plus support fire, like you can make these guys help each other out, and then piercing rounds. Like, so they will do pretty big damage. We're talking 278 per hit, but they're not very active, right? They don't do much in a wave. It's a problem. I do want the perfect coils for this thing, so I'll get that as soon as I can. Dude, the bombs on these things are crazy. Now, are they game-changing amounts of damage? No, but it helps shred a lot of the little dudes. Aha, I trapped a mosquito in my glass. I just accidentally killed him and I kind of feel bad now. Whoops. I was just trying to trap him. I wasn't trying to fucking whack the guy. All right, so we got some big dudes we need to worry about. We're not gonna be able to do much against them until they get into our DPS zones. These light mortar cannons just really don't do a whole lot. Oh, okay, I think we're gonna make it. We can speed up now. I think sometimes if you speed up, sometimes the enemies get through when they normally wouldn't. No, I need stuff I can place. I don't need doctrines. Taking these will at least take them out of the pool because you can't get them more than once. So it lowers the chance that I don't get towers again. I literally can't improve my defenses. And like, so I'm pretty sure if you play on higher speeds, you're more likely to lose. Let's go for perfect coils and unstable field. Maybe it's a computer thing. Like my computer's pretty good. So maybe it doesn't matter if there's a lot of things on screen. Oh yeah, look at that damage rolling in on this bad boy. Chunking away. Oh, Claymore defense. That's super interesting. Sturdy bunker expertise plus an Omega emitter. Let's go for the Claymore defense. I'm kind of interested in that and how it works. Reroll for at least a 3-way. Listen, I would reroll for a 3-way any day. We've got a supply point here. Let's put one of our charge systems right there. Now, the Claymore defense is kind of an interestingly shaped building, which means it kind of fits into weird positions, like right there. Is that where I want to put it? Do I want to raise it up? Let me place it down and have a look at what I can do. So it starts off with a dual barrel LMG, which is a 50% extra damage. So it's an anti-air unit, although anti-air weapon, but it doesn't priority target anti-air. We could add more dual barrel LMGs. I could add a multi-pulse, which is a shield breaker. I could add a dual-barreled LMG. This is, okay, so look how low range that is. It's a very, very low range weapon. The frag launcher, we could go for ammo reserve for extra damage and rate of fire, or trajectory analyzer for extra range. So I think this is a building that thrives on high ground, weirdly shaped high ground. And the dual barrage LMGs, what's the DPS on this? So it shoots 10 rounds per second. It can fire continuously for 3.5 seconds versus the multi-pulse. I don't know what the damage is on that. 30% damage. Rate of fire, reload speed. Let me cancel this and I'll think about where I want to place it. It'd be good to kind of, if I could shove it on a corner somewhere. I've got like if I've got a weirdly shaped corner somewhere, I don't really, it would almost fit here if I used one platform to boost it, which feels a little better, especially if I go heavy into the LMGs than ammo reserves. Like if we just go full LMG plus ammo reserve, we've got 3 LMGs, good rate of fire, good reload speed, good damage. Hopefully this thing will do a bit of work for us. Cost us a bit of money. I'm gonna slow down the game a little bit because just in the early part of the wave, because I don't want like sneaky enemies to sneak on through. I do need to upgrade my sanction cannon, so I'm gonna grab spotters, and if I can get a Mirador and data collection, that would be great. I'm gonna slow down time when these guys get closer. Oh boy, they are getting close, man. The damage is not enough. Oh, that was close, dude. Holy balls. Cheaper buildings. Where were you like 40 turns ago? I could really use just more stuff. So what kind of damage were you looking at? 20k damage from this isn't bad, actually. Like 20k damage in a round? That's respectable. Like an unupgraded bunker did 5k. Upgraded bunkers did like 15, 10, 11, 18k, 9k. Definitely the Reaper cannon is like goated. Overloading shells would be good. You probably did crazy good damage. Yeah, we just don't have a Mirador for you. I will put a charge system. Oh no, it's on the wrong height. If I could get a charge system here, that would be a 10% DPS increase plus another 15%. That would have been so good. Where can I slip this in? No, let's just get our blessed machines. Blessed machine here. That'll upgrade your DPS. I'll go for another blessed machine as well. All right, up to wave 42. I was kind of hoping this would end a little sooner. I could like go to bed. It's pretty late. All right, but yeah, this fence doing work. Oh, this is a big boy. Like I expect him to explode into many enemies. But this fence will do the job, I think, for some of them. Yeah, our AoE damage is actually pretty respectable, so it's quite hard for these dividing enemies. Now they are going to try and oh, we're dead. Damn. Okay, but we did make it an extra 7 waves. Like, that's pretty cool. I like that. This game is super fun, dude. And we unlocked so much cool stuff. Also, we've got this, like, frontier mode to try out now. Like, I'm just going to quickly, like... Oh, what is this? The hate... Oh, damn. You can do all the bad stuff. That's cool. Special dotations. So I think there's things we can unlock in frontier mode. That's sick, dude. Yeah, there's still a ton of stuff for me to unlock in this game. I don't actually know how many waves do we need to beat in this mode. Like, let's say we did rerolls, teaming invasion. Let's go for negative doctrines, less reinforcement choices. Oh, that's actually a really bad one. Let's go for frozen logistics plus extended supply lines and this. So whatever this is, X1. So how many waves do we need to make it? So we still need to make it 35 waves. So these are Frontier's dotations, these donations. So I can gain 2 platforms, 40 recon, or 75 supply and 20 recon. I mean, I like the platforms. Platforms are cool as hell. So I think this is just like a harder mode. I always like to do this. Just make the fortress defend itself early game. They can usually do the trick for the very, very early game. So I want to see some of these negative doctrines. Oh, look at that. We've only got 2 choices. That's painful, dude. Oof. Wave 3 exterminated. Mirador, Bastions. Superintended to gain blueprints. Durandal scales really well late game. Durandal scales late game. Claymore defense isn't bad. It's expensive though. While you only have 1 Durandal position, 10% damage, let's go for the Mirador. We're saving up for the underground train. I don't see negative doctrines happening. Am I crazy? Let's get this advanced Mirador. So this will lessen the amount of enemies that come from this area and force more to spawn up here. And they'll also take more convoluted paths, hopefully. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm super dead. Oh, we lived. +2 range and 20% damage for 1 Mirador. That's not good. We've already started to invest in Miradors. They're actually like, as we learned last round, they're actually pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to call that the end of this. I want to thank you guys very much for watching. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.